When Olga Sozdaleva was a child, she moved to Kazakhstan with her parents. Her mother and father built the house with their own hands in the village near Almaty. All their life they worked and raised their children. Their daughter Olga is a physicist by profession. Once she changed her profession and has acquired 150 rose bushes. And as the bargain she was presented with garden knife. That's how she started her nursery garden at her parents' farm.
Казахстан – это моя родина. Это моя родина. Я приехала сюда, и когда я стояла, это было 1 ноября.
Kazakhstan is my home. When I came here, it was the 1st of November. We came from Altai mountains. I was in a sundress, looking around on the street. It was so colorful and so beautiful. I saw in the river an apple of extraordinary size. I thought, is it possible? Apple, and it doesn't belong to anyone. I was 10 years old then. We have never in our family, nor I nor my husband, never talked about the possibility of living anywhere else.
Не возникало даже просто такого, знаете, настроения или желания поговорить. А куда мы?
Over time, they needed a large piece of land to develop their nursery garden. Now there are more than 300 varieties of Dutch, French, and German roses selection grow on the generous land of Kazakhstan. Flower beds and parks of Almaty are decorated with the flowers of this nursery, and later on the territory appeared an orchard under the supervision of an experienced botanist.
Мой питомник курирует Сальников Евгений, кандидат наук в помологии.
My nursery garden is supervised by Evgeny Salnikov, PhD in palmology. He worked for 40 years. Now we are working together, and all that we have in the nursery is only because of Evgeny Salnikov. We have more than 60 varieties of apples, and we have stone fruits, pears, plums, and cherry.
Черешня, все это есть. У нас есть немножко землянички.
Once Olga dreamed of reviving the famous Almaty apport, an apple that in the early 20th century created a furor in European exhibitions. Then people tried to grow the giant apples immediately in Europe and America, but an apple turned out to be patriotic, and in any foreign garden it didn't grow with such intensity as in the Seven Rivers. Although, unfortunately, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, famous gardens of Semirechye were almost completely destroyed. Then one day a huge sweet fruit grown by Olga Sozdaleva was recognized as the best one at the international festival. However, after the triumph, Olga faced a prosaic problem. Famous trees began to suffer from the so-called fire blight.
Без специалистов в этой области это невозможно просто осилить.
Without a specialist in this field, it is impossible to simply overpower such industry. Of course, I dreamed of having our own type of roses, especially when I was cultivating roses of French, German, and Dutch and other selections. We took the first place. We raised the biggest apporto in Apple Fest. We received diplomas and bonuses. But then we bumped into a problem of fire blight. It is a disease that is not treated. It is necessary to cut, burn, but somehow try to maintain the tree. Despite the fact that apporto was very seriously injured, we fight for every tree, and as long as I live, I will fight for this apple type.
И вот сколько пока я жива, я буду бороться за него.
Different selection of trees is brought here from different countries. New varieties of fruit trees that are resistant to blight are planted here. Interestingly, in this nursery, they do not use any of chemical fertilizers, and because of this, the fruit of the garden and the vegetables from the garden are clean. And another dream of Olga Sozdaleva, she wants her sons to continue her work.
Чтобы это продолжалось очень-очень долго, чтобы у меня были последователи.
I want this to last for a very, very long time. I want my plants to live and grow. In 2004, I flew to a friend in Norway, and the plane fell, somewhere by 800 meters into the pit. At the moment, I wouldn't say that it was terrible, but you know what I thought? I have just planted trees and rose bushes, and I thought to myself how everything will be without me. And now I want to believe that I will have followers.
И у меня мысль такая промелькнула. А как же это все без меня? Ну, примерно. А сейчас мне очень и очень охота верить в то, что у меня будут последователи.